Hello, my name is Eli Schenkel, and recently I was asked, Eli, who's your personal hero? And I thought about it, and I thought about it, and eventually I concluded on my good friend, James Fork. I believe James Fork is my personal hero. And to properly introduce James, I'm going to quote a short speech he did in the 9th grade. I'm annoying and I'm funny. I wonder if anyone thinks I'm funny. I hear people talking about me. I see the cringing faces of children. I want to be funny. I'm annoying and I'm funny. I pretend my hygiene isn't bad. I feel my teeth rotting in my mouth. And I touch the plaque on my teeth. I fear my teeth will fall out. I cry at night because, well, my hygiene's so awful. I'm annoying and I'm funny. So, that was only a small snippet of the speech James did in 9th grade oral communications. And I was there to hear that. I was in the audience, and as I was listening and processing, I was like, this is stupid. James, what are you getting at? And this was before I knew James. That was just the most stupid and pointless thing that I've ever heard. It's like you could have told us something beneficial, but no, you gave us something stupid, and that's just the mindset I was in when I heard that. But then, of course, down the road, me and James become friends, and as I get older, I think about that speech he gave, and I start to realize the true genius of that speech that I once called stupid. With that speech, I realized James is able to use confidence to boldly express life's irony and humorous stupidity. So, in 9th grade, I was very shy. I was condemned, and I didn't feel able to express what I personally thought was funny. And I never felt like I could be myself. And I saw James. James was so free. You know, he was able to make friends with anyone, and he was able to freely express his humor. He didn't care what anyone thought. His confidence was superb. I had none of that. James was everything I wasn't. And one day, I saw James playing his Nintendo Switch in the courtyard of our freshman academy there. And I was just walking by, didn't think much of it. Just kind of like, oh, that annoying guy. You know, didn't think much of it. But then James, to my surprise, he pointed me out. And he was like, hey you, come play Smash Bros with me. You know, Smash Bros is awesome. Smash Bros on Nintendo Switch was new at the time, and I had the game, he had the game, so I was like, okay, I'll give him the time of day, we'll see how this goes. And so, you know, we're playing, he's Piranha Plant, I'm Toon Link, and yeah, we're playing, it's fun, and yeah, we just both start having a good time, and we both warm up to each other. Even though I only said a few words, I did not have the confidence to talk to James. But we warmed up to each other, and everything was going great. Until my big schnoz starts spewing out blood all over his Nintendo Switch system. Well, shoot, everything was going great, and now my human body fluids are all over his Switch. It's like, what can I do now? I was so scared James was gonna just drop me right then and there and be frustrated with me, but he didn't. I mean, all James did at that point was walk me to the bathroom, and he was just frantically laughing. He was just laughing and laughing, and I was laughing even though there was blood coming out of my nose. We were just both laughing while we walked to the sketchy freshman academy bathroom, and when we were in the bathroom, he helped me ease the bleeding from my nose, and we got his switch cleaned off. And that moment right there was the very first moment I ever had with James, and I still consider it his most heroic moment that paved the way for how he's a hero to me now. So throughout high school, I had a very harmful attitude, very serious outlook on life. I was not able to laugh much. I struggled with it a lot. And I would constantly get so serious about life that I would make myself anxious. And I tended to have mental breakdowns, anxiety attacks, all that good stuff. But when I hung around James, and believe me, I had James in some of my classes, and when we hung around each other, all of that serious attitude, it's gone. It's gone. That's the fork effect right there. I did not feel anxious or like serious at all around James. And it's mostly because when we're together, we can get on the same level of like first grade humor, which it's so stupid. But once you break out, once you get on the level of the first grade humor and break out of that serious attitude, you're able to just have fun and be free for a second. So, let me do an example for you, some of the jokes that James will do. Guess what? What? Chicken butt. What's another one? Up high? Down low? In the hole? Thanks for cleaning my toilet bowl. And then of course some of his newer stuff like, "Hey Landon." Anyways, it's just first grade humor like that. You're doing it. It seems stupid. Why am I doing this? This is dumb. But then it breaks you out of that serious mindset. And you start to feel free. And you lose all that just built up stress in your body. One thing James really did was help me not to take myself so seriously. I remember we went into a sewer hatch one time, down exploring the sewers of Fort Smith. It was frightening. We were walking and we were having a good time going into the poop gutters of Fort Smith, but then in the distance, the dark distance, I swear I saw a large man emerge in the sewers. And, you know, I slightly tried to warn them, but I darted off in fear. It wasn't me being a great friend. So anyways, I don't want to get molested by a large man in the sewer, so I'm running out of the sewer, right? And then I make it out, and I sit at a picnic table. I sit at this table for about 30 minutes, and I was hoping James and Gabe were alright. It's like, are they dead or are they alive? What's going on here? But then 30 minutes after, they walk to the picnic table, they see me worrying. They're just laughing. You know, I thought they were nearly dead. They're just laughing. And eventually I start laughing too, because they were like, "Eli, why'd you run out of the sewers? What's wrong with you?" It's like, didn't you see that large man in the sewers? Eli, no. What are you talking about? There was no one in there. And I guess there wasn't, because they came out perfectly fine. And James would just hold that joke. He did not let that joke go. He didn't let it go. And at first I was humiliated. It's like, don't know what's wrong with me. I guess I just see things, but I was humiliated. But then it helped me realize that James would bring up these jokes over and over, not as a negative thing, but just as a friendly reminder not to take ourselves so seriously. He helped me realize that imperfection is a thing that can be laughed at. We can laugh at our imperfections. So now when I make a mistake, I usually just laugh it off and move on. Because when you can find the humor in everything, it just relieves a lot of the stress that comes with it. Another thing about James, he's able to stay positive all the time. Now you look at James, you make eye contact with him, he already has that grin on his face. And his hygiene has gotten better since 9th grade. So, he's smiling with his pearly whites. He's just so happy. And I wonder why I get into these depressive states and other people get into this depressive states. And then I realize that I can observe James, see what he does to stay happy, what works for him, and how does it work so well. So of course, I have studied James multiple times, and I've realized that what he does, the things he does are really simple. So one thing he'll do, he'll just talk about the things that make him happy. Like, we'll be with a group of friends and he'll say something that only I'll get, or heck, even something only he'll get. It doesn't matter how confused our other friends are, it makes him happy. So he says it, even if no one gets it. And sometimes I'll get it, and it'll make me happy. So he's always talking about things that makes him happy. And then he's always trying to find the positive in things. Like, one time he just started talking to me about how awesome water is. And it made me appreciate water, as random as that is. Appreciating water. But he'll find the positive in everything. And of course, since he's able to see the humor in everything, he can already, he's always in a laughable mood. He'll always just be laughing. And it's because he's able to see the humor in pretty much everything. So, to wrap this up, if I had never met James, I would be living a very stressed out life, and I would still be very serious in my head. It would not be healthy, but thankfully I met James, and his positivity just rubbed off on me, and his humor rubbed off on me. And I don't feel condemned to express humor anymore. I feel confident. And even if James and I part ways in our adult lives, I'll always still, keep his attitude alive through my actions inspired by him, I won't let, this almost philosophy that's given me so much freedom, I won't let that die off. I'll keep that in my life for as long as I live, thanks to James. And you always just want to keep a positive mindset and find the beauty in the humorous stupidity of life.